People are gonna be like, who's this Asian guy? Calm.
Yeah, my car's in Nashville.
Isn't Tori have a car?
I got 3 people already joined, Keone.
Really?
Let me prop it up real quick. Hold on, guys. You awesome Keone Young fans. I'm just setting up his phone. Alright, let's see if I can do this a second time. How's it look, Jeremy? Is it bad?
We'll do it this way.
Yeah, that's great. That's good.
Yeah,
A little more? I can do a little bit more.
Kind of clipping the side of
Let
the...
me see. Oh,
There you go.
There we go. Perfect.
alright. What is going on, everyone?
Are we online now?
Yep, we have
Hi,
9
guys.
people.
This is Keone Young here, and my buddy Jeremy Miller
Hello.
from Epic Talent.
Put my head in too.
And that's Ray. I'm Keone Young, the voice of Storm Shadow Ninja Warrior, Commander Sato in Star Wars Rebels, Zhong Zhong in Avatar, and Chen Stormstout in Mists of Pandaria, World of Warcraft,
Among a few other roles.
among many others. And on camera, I'm Mr. Wu, but don't make me say that word. Anyway, I'm here, guys, for you. It's really great seeing you. I hope you can see me. Yeah, Chen Stormstout was one of my favorite characters. It was the panda. And he said, if you watch the animatron, to ask why we fight is to ask why the leaves fall. It is in our nature. That was Chen Stormstout. Of course, I got other shows too, like I said, Deadwood and Sons of Anarchy, Men in Black 3. And I mean to tell you, Will Smith is a really nice guy. He sent me a dozen yellow roses when I went to the set. And of course, Return to Halloween Town, Silas Sinister. My daughters, they were really bad. Okay, so I'll leave it. I'm at your service.
Alright, guys.
Are people saying things I can't read?
Yeah. We have people saying Grandpa from American Dragon is
Yes.
also a great role of yours.
Jake, 你今日仔冇散聲啊
I'm all about my Deadwood.
Okay, Deadwood.
I'm personally an Avatar fan. Avatar fan all the way.
Okay.
You've got a cool poster from Deadwood here.
Yes.
If you want to show that to everybody.
This is a original. This is an event that we're going to be doing. It's going to be in Deadwood, and it's on June 13th to the 15th. We're going to be celebrating Wild Bill Days, and I'm bringing 2 friends of mine, Jerry Jewell, who played Jewel, and W. Earl Brown, who played Dan Doherty. We're going to be in Deadwood, South Dakota for 3 days. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's free. Come in. Hot dogs are free. Band music, hamburgers. This is going to be great. And so I brought the poster with me, and I only have a couple for you guys that want one, and we'll make sure Streamily sends it out to you with my signature.
Yeah, and if you guys want to get some awesome prints, just like the one Keone just showed, I pinned a comment. Just go to streamily.com/Keone Young. Go ahead and purchase a print. He's going to be doing some cool signings for about 45 minutes to an hour. So
And we
stick
got
around.
for you G.I.Joe fans, we got the comic book cover posters. That's Snake Eye and Storm Shadow.
And what's the other Storm Shadow poster you've got here? That looks really cool.
Oh yeah, this one.
That one's
This
dope.
Storm Shadow. Larry Hama is a good friend of mine. I've known Larry since 1976, and Larry and I used to pal around together, and we do cons together now. This one is with Quick Kick,
Original Marvel Comics cover.
Marvel Comics cover. So, what do we have?
All right, so the first order we have goes to, and go ahead and show this awesome Storm Shadow print. This one's going to be for VGM.
VGM. How you doing? Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. In 1985, I was asked to do Storm Shadow. I didn't know what it was going to be. It was crazy back then. We didn't record separately in a booth. Everything was on analog, so it was on tape We sat around, 20 of us, and one side sat the Joes, one side sat Cobras, and it was crazy. And I don't know if you know, back then people could smoke, so people would be smoking things and cigarettes, and we had a lot of fun. Anyway.
Are you going to be a part of that new Transformers G.I.Joe crossover?
I might be, not in the, I don't know yet. I know my good friend Lisa Raja, who's Zarana, and Zartan, they're making a Transformer toy with Zartan and Zarana.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Am I doing this in silver? Silver?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this one personalized?
Yes.
It's just VG. It's just the name. So
It's
no
to
instructions.
VGM.
Yeah. V-I...
V-I...
G-I-E-N. All right.
Great.
VGM, if you're watching, Keone just
Thank
signed
you so much.
awesome Storm Shadow print. Coolio.
And this is pulled from the original package artwork
Is it?
for the Storm Shadow action
I know
figure.
the white one is a toy from the toy, but this is
Yeah.
old school.
Yeah, that's the original art for the action figure from the original toy line back in the
Right?
day.
Really? You know better than me. That's why I got him here. But this is one that I had a graphic designer make, especially for me. So, because people always ask me to put the Japanese characters of Storm Shadow, which is Arashikage, which means Storm Shadow, and the I Ching print. So I had a graphic designer make these for me.
Well, we have a question from
Yes.
someone. B4I'd, you have plans for voicing a character in a Yakuza game?
I am. Wait, which one? Because I've done so many.
There's a few.
There's
one just came out.
Two just came out.
Were you in that one or no?
What was it called? You know? Yeah, I'm a voice in the
it's,
Yakuza game.
It's from PCB, the
Yeah, it's from-
Infinite Wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just came out.
Yeah.
Two Yakuza games, but it's from PCB.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keith Valley Aram, the director.
Yeah, Keith Aram. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool. All right, next order we have is of the exclusive Mr. Wu poster.
This is from the Mr. Wu poster, and these are going to be very rare collectibles because, well, I only printed 25, and the only way you can get them is through me on Streamily, because I don't really bring them around with me to cons, or you can go to the event and they'll have them at the event.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing this one in?
This one is going to be for Janie and Dan.
Okay, what color shall we use on this one?
We said silver. For this
Silver
one.
on this,
silver.
okay.
How do you spell Jamie?
Well, hold on. Keone,
Do his awesome signature.
Mr. Wu, and you want me to use that word, right? Okay. So Sweden, San Francisco.
They also said to put cocksucker.
Yeah, and that's what I did.
Oh,
But
you
I
did?
spelled it the way that Wu would spell it.
That's awesome.
Okay, and to
This goes to Janie, J
yeah,
A.
Give me the whole
N I
spelling.
E,
because I can't listen and write at the same time.
Janie,
Janie.
and Dan.
And
D-A-N.
Dan.
All right, Janie and Dan.
Hey, I hope to see you guys up there in South Dakota and Deadwood. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can tell you, I was there a year ago, and the town goes crazy for Mr. Wu
It's a
and
cool
Deadwood fans. Huh?
It's a cool area.
And it's a great area. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Okay.
Show it off. Janie and Dan, if you're watching, thank you for buying this awesome exclusive print.
Thank you.
Coolio.
Any other comments?
Yeah. Hey Trish.
Huh?
Someone was saying, "Hey Trish." I'm not sure what that
Oh, hey Trish Nishimura.
is. Is
No.
Trina here?
Trina. Oh, Trina. Oh, that's Trina, not Trish. Okay. Hi guys. Okay, what else?
All right. Next, we have a baseball card.
Oh yeah, this was a very interesting experience. This is Buck Bokai from Deep Space Nine.
For Star Trek.
Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Yes, that's correct. And by the way, I have another Star Trek link. I'm Hoshi's father in Enterprise, by the way. I was never given a first name, just Hoshi's father. But this is Buck Bokai. He was a baseball player from the future. And Paramount made this as a prop, and they gave it to me, so I made copies of it. I'm the only one that has it. This is from the studios. It's got Buck Bokai, and it's got some made-up stats in the back, which is really great. And it's also a collector's item. I'm the only one that has this.
Did the prop card come with the stats as well?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. They made them all up in the studio. There's this guy named Michael Okuda who does all the work on Star Trek, and he does all the detail work. And he came out of a book about Star Trek. He puts all that stuff together, and they have their own building. Star Trek does to do all the research, props, and facts.
That's so cool.
So this one was black, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Just requires your signature.
Okay. And I really enjoyed working on that show. Everybody was so nice. Particularly, I must say, Armin Shimmerman was a joy to work with. He's a wonderful actor. And behind all that makeup that he wore, you know, do you know the name of his character? Do you remember?
He was Quark.
Quark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Behind all that is a really gentle soul. Wonderful man.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, next print we have is the Sasaki print.
This is one of my favorites. It comes from Record of Ragnarok, which is 2 seasons on Netflix. Is one of my favorite characters because as a kid we idolized this actual character. His name was Sasaki Kojiro, and we've also learned about the legend of his battle with Miyamoto Musashi, who is, I think everybody knows. He wrote the Book of Rings about samurai philosophy and everything. But they had a big battle, and I was really happy to see that he was created for Record of Ragnarok because he actually defeats he's the first one to defeat one of the gods. So
is that series, Record of Ragnarok, is it like a historical?
No,
Or
it's
is
just
it
fun.
sort of pulling in the character?
It's
from-
like gods versus human beings, and they
Okay.
get characters like from history,
Okay.
and they even get Jack, what's his name, Jack
Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper, to represent humans.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Wow.
So what are we
Check
doing
that
this
out.
one in?
So this one's
red,
going to be,
no.
you
Blue?
guys said blue, yeah.
Blue, okay.
So this one's going to be to
Hey.
Desmond Brown, or after you.
To Desmond Brown
Yeah. Desmond.
and Brown.
Yes. Yeah, if you guys have any questions for Keone, feel free to comment. He's always happy to answer them. Especially anything about upcoming plans he has for potential franchises.
Yeah. Actually, on June 14th, Netflix is coming out with Ultraman Rising. I don't know if you guys are fans of Ultraman.
This guy.
It's that guy, yeah. Ultraman Rising, which was done in America in English, and it's premiering on June 14th on Netflix. It's a movie. It's fantastic. Industrial Light and Magic did all the
Like the animation. for it.
the animation, and Skywalker Sound did the sound. And it was done in cooperation with the Japanese guys who created Ultraman, but we did it in English, and it's going to be dubbed in Japanese and sent to Japan. So that's kind of like, like historical, but I think it's going to be pretty good, pretty popular. And I play the villain in it, which is I am honored to do so. I play Dr. Onda, the villain.
Badass.
Okay.
Speaking of other badass things, we have awesome Storm Shadow Funko Pop.
Funko. And actually, if you know, there are 3 versions of the Funko Pop. One is the original, which is hard to come by.
Yeah.
One is this one. And then one is a black ninja, which is Storm Shadow in black.
Yeah, and the black is a recoloring of the first release, which was the white costume. So there's the white.
Smart.
Deal with all
This
this.
is a damn smart.
Yeah,
guy.
Jeremy.
This is the second
That's why I got
version.
you, brother.
And this one for the G.I. Joe fans, they might recognize it as the second version that was released as a Storm Shadow action figure from the original Hasbro toy line.
Wow.
And you know what? Who's this for?
It's none. So
No,
this
but
one's
who is
just
it for?
Yeah, no one.
They didn't sign their online name?
Yeah, they didn't put their name, so
Okay.
they just wanted your signature.
No, that's fine. I was gonna write Storm Shadow in Japanese on this for.
Yeah, you could do it. You should do it on the side or on the top.
This is in Japanese. Don't show this to anybody Japanese because my Japanese writing is like a 3-year-old.
How'd you learn? Like, did you already know, or did someone have to tell you how to write Storm Shadow in Japanese, or?
I can write. I know how to write certain things, but I mean, my penmanship is not the greatest. You know, it's an art form. But here it is. It's Arashikage on the top, Storm Shadow, which makes this more valuable now.
Someone said you voice Ishiyama from Ben 10.
Yeah. How do you? These people, they know too much. Yes, I did. I don't even remember, but I know I did. But the reason I remember is because it was directed by Andrea Romano. And Andrea was the director of Avatar. She directed all the episodes of Avatar and all the episodes of Legend of Korra. And she is, what do you call that? She is like a well-known, highly respected person. And if you're in the business, you know who Andrea Romano is.
Oh, yeah.
I knew her when I first came to town. She was a casting director assistant, and she flourished into an animation director. And she's directed the Turtles, and she's directed Avatar. She's directed anything that's, you know, what is that, Teen Titans? She directed Teen Titans. And I was fortunate enough to know her because she had brought me into many situations where I played some very great characters. I was in the Usagi Yojimbo version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was a 3-parter, and I played the villain Jay. And I also was in Teen Titans, a movie, when they go to Japan. I played the bad guy.
Noticing a trend here.
Yeah, I played the monster. He turns into some monster. He was
Yeah.
a detective, and he turns into a bad guy. Yeah, and it was for. And also, she brought me in when. I'm losing my mind right now. What's the dog's name? Earl?
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
See, I can only think of sounds. I can't think of names. Scooby-Doo Goes to Japan, and I played the bad guy there too.
Yeah, 2 questions. How was your experience going to Pasadena Comic-Con?
Yeah.
And what is your favorite line in Ben 10?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
Or no, it says, what is your favorite line? And then there's a follow-up. Remember your line from Ben 10.
Oh, a true sumo never cheats. This is true. And if you know The Simpsons, when they go to Japan, I played the sumo wrestler. So, and when you do a Simpsons, they're so great and so generous, or they have too much money maybe. They gave me a jacket, a leather jacket with my name written, what do you call it, stitched into it. A beautiful leather jacket. They gave me a crystal ice bucket from Tiffany's.
Nice.
With the
God.
picture of Simpsons on it. They gave, and Matt Groening gave me the cell of my character and signed it.
Oh, that's really cool.
And so, I mean, you know, they were wonderful to work for. So, the other question was what?
How was your experience with Pasadena Comic-Con?
Pasadena Comic-Con is one of my favorites because that's one I first started with. I used to live in Pasadena because I went to the Pasadena Playhouse to study. It was a college of theater arts. Dustin Hoffman went there, and a bunch of other people. And I love Pasadena, but the Comic-Con is great. And it's now moving over to Burbank at the Burbank Marriott, and I'll be there June 9th. So it's a really big, fun Comic-Con. I'm sorry, it's only one day.
Unfortunate.
Now,
All right, one more order, and this is to Thor. I think we said black for this one.
yes. Now, This is Commander Sato, and I'll tell you a really interesting story. When we did, I think it was the 3rd season, Dave Filoni invited me up to the offices of George Lucas and the LucasArts and the Lucas Combine. I think they call it what do they call it? A campus. It's so huge.
Yeah. A ranch.
Yeah. So they
Tower
took
ranch.
me and they took my family and they toured us around. They showed us all the original artwork from Star Wars. Dave came down, brought my son, and he gave him books and toys. And Dave drew pictures for my son, a beautiful picture of Ahsoka. And then he took us out to lunch, and we had a wonderful time. And then he turned around to me and he said, Keone, by the way, this season, we're killing you. So I was like, huh? And he said, but you're going to die. Sato is going to die a wonderful death. I said, oh, well, thank you, Dave. But it was a great time. I had a great time. He was very kind to my family. So that's Commander Sato.
Awesome. There was actually one question someone
Yeah.
had before it went up. Someone asked, whatever happened to American Dragon? They didn't know it ended on a cliffhanger. You have any insight on that or no?
Well, as you know, Disney is run by a corporation, and they make decisions up in a tiny room up at the top that we are
Mickey
not
Mouse.
privy to. So all we do is get you renewed or you're canceled. But during that time, it was a great age of cartoons. I mean, Lilo and Stitch. And then you had American Dragon. You had what's that one with the young girl spy?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but there was a whole bunch of cartoons going
Is it
at
Kim
the time.
Possible?
Yeah, Kim
Kim
Possible,
Possible.
Kim
Yeah.
Possible, and so a new material kept coming out, you know, and people wanted to see new stuff. So I think it had its good run of 3 years. And usually cartoons, if you know, particularly like if the Disney stuff, like the Star Wars stuff, they usually run for 3 years and they go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I know there's a financial reason for that, but I'm not privy to that stuff. You know, we just we go, well, they're killing you guys this
Yeah.
year. You know.
It's interesting now though, with like all the different streaming platforms. I think shows have a better chance of, if they get canceled at one, getting picked up at another.
Yeah.
So maybe, and we're seeing some shows that were canceled years ago that are being
Yeah.
revived. So you
Yeah.
never know.
You never know.
That might come back if there's interest.
Yeah. What are we signing this in?
This one's gonna be in black to Thor.
This is black.
Yes.
Thor. I'm so happy to sign these,
I know.
Commander Sato. And this comes with, Thor wants a quote, yes.
Yes, something Sato would say.
We will meet again, Thrawn. How's that? We'll meet again, Thrawn. Unfortunately, I think Mikkelsen got to do this in the studio where he lives, and I think he lives in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I never got to work with him personally. Yeah, but I got to work with D. Bradley Baker, who you guys must know.
Oh yeah.
And I got to work with Stephen Stanton, who took over the part of Peter Cushing. Was it Peter Cushing? No, Christopher Lee. Oh, who's the guy that does the? Who was the original?
Peter Cushing.
Peter
was
Cushing, right.
in the original Star Wars.
Right, Peter Cushing. I think he did. What was the character's name? You remember?
It's one of the admirals.
You're right.
He was like Vader's number one.
You're right. Right.
Okay.
And so Stephen Stanton, who's a monster of a voice actor. If you ever
Tarkin.
Tarkin. Yes,
Yeah.
Tarkin. He's the voice of Tarkin.
Grand Moff Tarkin.
Carlos says, I also love how you did the voice in number 3's dad in Codename Kids Next Door.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I used, I think, my grandfather's voice.
Yeah. I also love how you did Kaz and
Kaz.
Hi Puffy.
Yes, I love Cat. I love doing Hi Puffy, I'm Yumi, because I work with two of the most fun people in voiceovers. One is Grady Lyle, who you guys know, and one is Janice Kawai, who I'm still friends with, and who I take on tour with me to certain cons when she can do it. and we're going to be at the Robo Toy Fest in Burbank on June 9th. It's going to be a lot of fun. It was a fun show. I got to do, because I was on the show, they had me do a lot of peripheral characters, so it was like college for me. You know, it was like getting my my master's in voice, because it would throw voices at me. Like, here we got one character had 2 lines, and I would have to invent all these characters. And I stole a lot. I stole a lot from Rob Paulson and Frank Welker.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
I stole from all these guys. I goes, oh, I'm going to use that voice, okay, Rob?
Wow. What is your most challenging role, you think, out of everything you've ever portrayed?
Well, I gotta tell you, throughout my career, I mean, I've had so many interesting roles. So, but I think just to be me, to be comfortable enough not to hide behind some kind of crazy voice, but just to be me, which is I was in Ultraman Rising, and to have the confidence of saying, yeah, I can just be me as a human being. And I hope that the character comes out not only as the villain, but as a person who has some inner life, who has some inner passion, who had some inner dream, but yet went the wrong way. So I think that for me, that was the greatest challenge, because simple is the best. I mean, you can have all these crazy voices, which people do, but just to be you, can be the most difficult. Yeah.
I have some comments pulled up. The Chrome Trooper says, Kaz had such a vocal range and bounced off Ami and Yumi so well. I met you and Janice in Pasadena, and I gotta say thanks again for that.
Well, thank you for coming out, and I hope that you'll come out to Burbank. The thing about Kaz is, but people always ask me, how do you become a voice actor? And it's not so much as having all these kooky and crazy voices, but it's training. And I trained. I studied.
Studying acting.
I studied not only acting, but I studied the sciences that surround performing, like opera and ethnic singing. I studied Japanese music and Korean music. I learned the languages. So I was surrounded by these characters that I would use and utilize, but it was through training. You know, I can sing a song in Italian, I can sing a song in German, I can sing a song in French. And so, and then I started learning all these songs in different languages because I wanted different characters. So, Kaz, I utilize all that, you know, the voices of these characters.
Yeah.
And if you become a voice actor, you have to have that under your belt, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Richard has a bunch of questions for you. There's one. He says, what was it like playing John John in Avatar seasons 1 and 3?
Well, let me tell you a story, and you're going to only hear this on Streamily Live or if you meet me in a con. But Andrea Romano brought me over to do a character. I was working on American Dragon at the time. She brought me over to do John John because she had known my work. And one day I was talking with my agent, and he said, hey, do you know Mako? I went, are you kidding? Mako and I are like, I've known Mako for many, many years. As a matter of fact, he was my mentor. She says, do you think he'd want to do voice? I said, I don't know. I'll go and talk to him. So I got in touch with Mako. We were doing a play once. I said, Mako, do you want to do cartoons? And he went, what for? I said, well, Mako, it's a great living, you know. And those checks, you know, they come like in book form. And he goes, okay, I'll try it. So I brought him over to meet my agent, and they booked him Uncle Iroh in Avatar, and then they booked him in Aku. So he took those jobs away from me, but I mean, he deserved it because he was great. So anyway, how was it like doing Jong Jong? It was a gas. I mean, you know, when you get offered work like that, you just kind of revel. I mean, it's like being invited to like a nice party, you know, like, you know, it's like if you got invited to a Taylor Swift concert and got the
Good
front
analogy,
row.
yeah.
You know?
Good
It's like,
analogy.
I'm invited. Oh, okay. Let's have fun.
Mhm.
You're inviting me on stage to sing with you? Okay. And you do it, but you better have training behind you to do it. So I was very happy. And can you guys do me a favor? Can you write to Funko Pops and ask them why there is no Jong Jong Funko Pop?
Yeah. You never
Right.
know.
That is crazy, yeah.
They
Yeah.
keep releasing more and more from.
They keep
Avatar.
releasing more from Avatar, but they don't do a Jong Jong, and they don't know how important that character. Breathe, breathe.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the other questions? Sorry, I want to.
No, it's okay. We have a lot of questions going in so far.
Yeah.
Richard has another one. What was it like working with Mako on Samurai Jack Season 3, Episodes 11 through 12, The Birth of Evil, when you guys did the fight scene between the Emperor and Aku?
Mako and I go way back to 1974. So he was my teacher. I loved him. He was my mentor. He made me, every play he did, he made me understudy him. So I was fortunate. And he would make me go on. He would say, go, do it. Do the part for a week. You know? And I did all these great characters. So we knew each other very well, and we would have a lot of fun, you know. And we learned things from each other. That song that he sings in Avatar, I know, and you know, people
Yes,
talk about
everyone loves that song.
Yeah, I kind of like worked with him on that.
No way.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
What did you contribute to that?
Well, I went to Hawaii to learn. We were in the same theater group, and I went to Hawaii to do some research, and I learned a folk song there. I went to the originator, one of the guy who sings it, and then I learned it from him and got all the lyrics and everything, and I came back and I taught the group that.
Wow.
So I think he might have used some of that. I certainly know he used it in some other stuff. It was like being with family, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. Any
That's
from
awesome.
somebody else? Any other question?
Yeah. There's a lot more. Do you like Japanese food?
Yeah.
Carlos asked, what's your favorite Japanese dish?
You know, it depends. It depends what region I am in. Like in Okinawa, I love what they call mimichi. Mimi is ear, and so it's the pig ear. And
Wow. Did you know what brought you to eat it? You're just like, yeah. I'm
Oh, it's
down to try
great.
it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, pig ear. In Okinawa, they eat a pig, and they eat everything but the oink. So they eat every part of the pig. So like, I went to one restaurant in Okinawa.
Yeah.
I go, give me your, in Japanese, you know.
Yeah.
I said, give me your special. Yeah. And they brought me. They said, well, we have two. I said, okay, just bring what your special is.
Yeah.
And they brought a snake.
Wow.
Which was really interesting, and it was really bony though. It's not one, and pig feet, which is pretty good. So, what Japanese food, like you know, like the Americans like sushi and stuff like that, but I like some of the
teriyaki chicken or something.
yeah, you know, and like I like some of the real like
Authentic.
like I like there's something called natto,
Oh yeah.
which is
Okay.
fermented beans,
Yeah.
which I love on rice. You know, I could just eat that.
That's
It
awesome.
has a very strong smell to it. sticky beans.
I love it.
Yeah.
How often did you interact with Dante Bosco and Mae Whitman on the set of American Dragon? Jake Long,
Well-
who played Jake's teacher.
Yeah, not May so much, but like Dante is he was a young guy when I first got to meet him, and he was known as like one of the Bosco brothers because there were like 5 of them, and all of them are talented. You know, as a matter of fact, I did a movie with his brother. I played his father, and it's this cult movie. I don't know, but Dante is he's a very smart, very fun guy to be with.
Cool guy.
I love him. I
Yeah.
love him. You know, and he's Filipino, so I grew up in Hawaii amongst a lot. My aunties are all Visayan and Ilocanos.
Yeah,
You know, so they're all Filipino. So I grew up, in Filipino culture around me,
that's awesome.
and so is Eric Bauza, by the way.
Mm.
You know, he's Filipino too. So I always kid him all the time. Yeah, Dante's a special person, and he's got his own thing going, you know.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dante's cool. Met him a
Yeah,
couple
he's
times.
really cool.
Did you like working on Room 222 way back in the day?
Well, it was my first job, and I got to tell you something about that. I mean, it was the days when Hollywood was still in its golden period of like Hollywood. You know, the studio system was still around then. Was at the ending, and I was on at 20th Century Fox, and the set around the whole Combine was Hello Dolly, and Barbara Streisand was there.
Yeah.
You know, and Omar Sharif was doing Che, a movie called Che.
Wow.
And you know, like it was glamorous. And here I was, this kid who was trying to in 1967 was. Wow. And I had a part, and at that time, if you know anything, it was about a movement for civil rights. So they tried to include be diverse at that period. So they put me in a classroom to try to make it, you know, reality of what American life was. And I just was trying to fit in, and I was so nervous.
Yeah.
And you know, they always tell you in school, don't think about working until you're ready. I wasn't really ready. So I was brought in, and I had a wonderful role, and you can still see it online.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a pretty good scene, but I had to take 7 takes, and in the business, you don't do that unless you're Marlon Brando, or unless you're Al Pacino. You don't. You got 1 take. The camera operator and technical people get 1 take, and the star gets 1 take. That means you can screw up 3 times. You're gonna have 3 screw ups. The star can screw up once. We give him that. The camera can screw up once, and the guest actor can screw up once. If you screw up any more than once, you're no longer a guest. You're a burden. So it's like I had to do 7 takes.
Oh.
And it showed my green. I was green.
Do you think that still lives up to today's standards of film? Like that whole, you know, the star can only do 1 take kind of thing?
No, but I mean nowadays the way economy is, you know, the way that production costs are so high.
Yeah.
That and stars too. Stars are good. You know, I mean, they know what they're doing, so you better be ready to support them. You can't mess around. In the old days, you used to come around and go, "Well, my character wouldn't do this." It's like, no, your character is doing it because it's in the script. So it's like, you know, we used to challenge saying, "Well, what is my motivation?" Your motivation is to get this thing done and get out of here. And just hope that we send you the check on time.
Wow.
You know, it's like, so you got to come with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like sports. It's like, you know, you get a chance to be on the team. You better come with it. You know, or Michael Jordan's gonna just slam it in your face.
Yeah.
And he might be your teammate, and he'll slam it in your face. You know? So I've always learned after that experience of Room 222. Okay. I'm not going to mess up. I'm going to be prepared.
Yeah.
I don't care if a bomb is blasting next to me. I'm not going to forget my lines. I'm not going to know what I'm doing. And so preparation was the key.
Wow. We have another question. Even though Iroh and John were not seen together until Avatar Season 3 finale, Sojin's Comet, did you ever interact with both of the Iroh voice actors, Mako and Greg Baldwin?
Not Greg Baldwin so much. I know Greg, and it's really funny because I did Samurai Jack, and Greg was doing the voice of Aku, and it just so happened I knew Maku's daughter Sala, and I knew her since she was 5 years old, and she's an adult now who has a child, and I brought her to the set of Samurai Jack, and Greg was like, "Wow, I'm really nervous now because he's trying to sound like Aku, and his daughter is sitting there."
Right there.
So, Mako and I worked a lot with each other, so it was like, you know, It's like fish in the water, you know, it's like
Yeah.
a duck in the water. We were like used to each other so much.
Yeah.
And we weren't all buddy friendly. I mean, he would get mad at me sometimes, you know, because he had a temper on him too. So
Yeah.
he used to, you know, you don't know what it's like until when he calls you an idiot, you know. When Mako calls you an idiot, you don't know whether to be honored or to be insulted.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or maybe both.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
and
funny.
it's like, I don't know if you know Deadwood, but David Milch is one of the smartest guys around. And when he looks at you and says, "You're stupid,"
Mm-hmm.
it really, you know, it really hits you really hard. And it really makes you think, yeah, I'm stupid. I better study.
Yeah.
But you have no idea what it's like when these brilliant guys turn around to you and go, "What the hell are you doing? What would you be thinking?"
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So you go, "Yeah, what am I thinking? I'm an idiot. I better get my stuff
Oh my
together here."
goodness. That's awesome.
But David Milch is another brilliant
Yeah.
guy, and I was fortunate enough to work in Deadwood with him,
Yeah.
amongst other great, and he worked with actors that he knew,
Yeah.
and it was such an honor to work with such great actors, you know,
Mhm.
on Deadwood.
Wow.
It was so great that even if you know, actors, this is when they get the script. Okay, they go, my part, my part, bullshit. Oh, there's my part again, and we would go down to the set and watch other actors act
Wow.
because we knew it was special. And William Sanderson was great. I mean, I would just go to the set to watch him act, and Ian McShane, because I knew it was something special, and that to be a part of it would be something that I could tell my children, that, you know, it would like be very historical.
Mm.
It's 20 years and people still love Deadwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're almost hitting the 45-minute mark, so if you have any last-minute questions, feel free to put them in so Keone can answer.
I've got hundreds of stories here.
Yeah.
I've got thousands
Yeah.
of stories. I will blow your mind if you come and sit with me for 30 minutes.
David has a question for you.
Yeah.
What was your first voice over role?
Okay, so when I came into town, I was broke, but I didn't want to be a waiter. I didn't want, and because they put me in the dishwashing unit anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a dishwasher. I had enough of that. At that time, the kung fu craze was coming around, and because Bruce Lee was there, and everybody in Hong Kong were making kung fu movies, and they would have these guys who were kung fu artists who would imitate Bruce Lee. They would call themselves Bruce Lai, Bruce Lo, Bruce Lo, Bruce Lang, and there was all these movies. Well, they used to dub them in Hong Kong, and if you know, Hong Kong was a British protectorate or whatever, it was colonized by the Brits. So all the white guys who could speak English sounded like Brits. You know, I'd say, let's go down to Hung Fei's Cafe, eh? And Americans would watch it in the theater and go, what? This doesn't fit. So they needed an English, American-speaking person,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody who could say the Chinese names properly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was not in the union then. I couldn't get in the union because in my
Oh.
days, you had to get a job to be in the union, and in order to be in the union, you have to have a job. So, I couldn't get into the union. So these non-union jobs of dubbing these kung fu movies, and most of them was whoa, wah, you know, which I majored in, you know.
Yeah.
And then that's how I first started, you know,
Yeah.
doing. It would be like working at McDonald's because it goes next movie, next Bruce Lee, next, and we dub the whole screen throughout the whole movie, and we do like 2 or 3 of them a day, you know. And it was like
Wow.
making $50 a movie, and I was like, in those days, $50 in the '60s and '70s, $50 was a lot of money. And I could live on a week on $50, you know. So and this is another Mako story. Mako is doing Conan in Spain, and he comes back and they're doing post-production on the movie. Well, Schwarzenegger hired all his muscle-bound friends to play warriors in it, but these guys developed all their muscles except for one. Can you guess? The voice muscle. So they all spoke like that.
Oh wow!
So the director tells Mako, I need to get some guy, and he was a fan of Kurosawa's the movie Seven Samurai. He says, I want my battle scenes to sound like Japanese samurai fighting. So Mako calls me up. He goes, hey. And I go, yeah. He goes, I got a job for you. You gotta go, yeah. He says, they're paying good money. I said, okay. And he brings me down. I meet the director. What's his name? I can't remember.
The director of Conan?
Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
John, was it John?
It'll come to me.
Yeah, he did the Wednesday Big Surf, the surf. Yeah, he was a very famous guy anyway. And so he says, I want to show you a movie. I want to show you the Seven Samurai movie. I said, you don't have to show it to me. I've seen it 18 million times sitting on my grandma's lap, because that's what we used to go to see Japanese movies. And so I did all the, what? I did all the battle scenes in Conan the Barbarian. And
John Milius.
John Milius, yeah, John Milius, great guy, very, very manly guy, And John was great, and I worked on Conan the Barbarian.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Very cool.
To contrast that with this other question, what was it like being in the Even Stevens movie?
Okay, I'm not going to say anything bad about anybody, but
extremely exclusive right here.
But there were a lot of young kids on that, and when you were like, look, listen, I'm going to tell you something. I worked on Different Strokes. I worked on who's the recent one? I mean, I looked at and a lot of young kids get into like I knew kids that, like, their first paycheck, they would buy a BMW. And they were only like 16, And, and I was like, oh, these guys are headed on a wrong path here. They're really popular. They're very famous when they're kids. But when you grow up to be an adult and you have responsibilities, it's a whole nother thing. So I let it go at that. I was fun. Even Stevens was fun. Besides, it was a location in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And, their location is my vacation. So I said, let's do this movie so I can go do my thing in Honolulu. So it's like, it was great. For me, it was great.
Yeah.
I just had to put up with a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
And by the way, speaking about that, I did a TV show with Zendaya when she was a kid. Zendaya?
Oh, yeah.
When she was a kid.
Wow.
And what was it called? It was a I think it was a Disney series. She was.
There's Shake It Up.
Shake It Up.
Is a dance.
Yeah, I did Shake It Up with Zendaya.
Yeah, Zendaya.
And I must say, Zendaya was a very smart young lady, and I knew that she was going to be a star. You know how you knew some people are going to go wrong, and then some people are going to go good. Mm-hmm. Zendaya was very good, very kind, very adult, and working with her was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got stories, I tell you. I go from Mako to Zendaya.
All right, we're past the 45-minute mark. You want to keep going, or?
Well, any more questions?
We'll do like two more.
Okay.
Wow, how did you come up with all those high-pitched noises? Like when you're doing the karate noises and stuff? This person wants to know.
Oh, well, we imitated all those guys in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
But in archaic or old Asian music, it's not like the West, where you're either a tenor or you're a baritone or you're a bass, and they figure out your level of your pitch, and they go, okay, you're a baritone, you sing within a certain range. Well, in Asian music, the guy who wrote it might be a tenor for a high singing person, and then you had to learn it even if you were a bass. So you had to sing high. You have to learn how to sing the whole range. And so our range development has been very extensive. So that's how you learn all those ranges. And that's how they came about.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. So, I guess that concludes
Any other? There was. You said there were two.
There was. Yeah, we could do one more. And then, what's your favorite character that you played throughout your career and why?
Well, that's like saying which is your favorite child, you know, and they're all my babies. So they're all. I guess the most recent ones are the ones that are your favorite. But I guess Mr. Wu, because Mr. Wu is a composite of my family, you know, and I wanted to show that Asians were not just like passive and submissive, but they were cocksuckers.
Got one for you. If you could go back and revisit a character that you played in the past, which one would you want to go back to?
Which one would I want to?
Like one of your past characters, if you could go back and like get another season or reprise a character in a continuation.
So many. I really wish I could go back and do Storm Shadow, because I was very young at the time, and I really wish I could go back and do Storm Shadow as a more humanistic person, knowing and understanding the story of Arashikage, the Hard Master, Snake Eyes, you know, and the struggle between them. So as I grew, and this is why Larry Hama is so great, because as Larry got older, he would write in more characters in depth. And I wish I could go back and do Storm Shadow and really give him a more mature outlook. I did, by the way, in G.I.Joe Renegade. I was too old by then to do Storm Shadow, so they made me the Hard Master. So I got a chance anyway, you know. But as an actor, you're never happy. You know, there's maybe 5% of all the times that you perform, you could say, yeah, that's the one. But most of the times you always go like, I could have been better. I could have done better, you know. I mean, that's how we think. And that's how you have to think, I think, in order to survive.
Yeah.
You keep trying to improve. Because once you think you're set, you're done, and you're good, you become stale, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hear a lot of actors. I mean, I used to do acting too, and I never liked any of the takes I did. I was like, I could definitely do better,
But you got to know, though. You got to know, because I know some people who audition and they do takes. They do like 30 and they can't be happy.
Oh, wow.
It's like I do like 1 or 2, and if they can't figure it out by then,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not your guy. You know, so you have to have that self-confidence to say, go in, do a take, and go, yeah, it'll work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like I remember working on The Fall Guy with Lee Majors.
Just watched the live action version last
Really?
night.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that today,
Yeah,
actually.
it was really good.
Okay.
So I worked with Lee. That was live. Fall Guy was live. What do you mean? You said live action.
There's a new movie. Like
I know.
A remake with Ryan Gosling. So
Right. Well, I worked with Lee Majors.
Wow.
And they would go, they would shoot the scene and go, Lee, we have to do another take because the sound was not perfect. And he'd go, well, the music will cover it. And he would walk off the set and everybody go, okay. And Lee was right. Lee was right. He was popular. Well, Lee would go, the music will cover it. Don't worry about it.
That's funny. We'll fix it.
He knows. That's awesome. All right, well, yeah. I guess that concludes the Streamily signing event for Keone, guys. Keone will probably end up doing another scheduled event sometime in the future, so just keep a lookout for his shop and everything to see if there's any updates.
Yeah, I have I'm putting in all kinds of stuff on my store. Every time I do something, you know, there's stuff from Ultraman Rising that'll be on that. And I got some new coffee cups made, Mr. Wu coffee cups, that'll be on sale too. So I'm always doing things because I enjoy making graphic art. And I have a bunch of artist friends who I kind of support that make things for me. If you go see Shogun, the series on Hulu.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I did the English dub. If you ever get a chance to watch it in the original language, but then I did the English dub. I play the old advisor to Toranaga, and so if you get a chance, I would I would suggest that you watch that if you want to see a good show, Shogun.
Awesome.
I'm also in Blue Eyed Samurai too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I just talked to the producer, creator, and they're gonna start the second season.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
The good news for you.
Yeah.
And your fans.
yeah.
All right, guys. See
Aloha.
you guys later. Where can they see you? What's your next like event or con that you're gonna be at?
I'm going to be in Seattle doing a con up there on May 11th on day before
nice.
Mother's Day.
Cool.
It's it's an extension of the Washington State Toy Show. And I'll be in Deadwood, and then I'm going to go to, if you're on the East Coast, I'll be in the Garden State, New Jersey, in the latter part of June. Then I go to Boston in the last week of June.
Nice.
Then I'll also be in Orlando for the Fanboy Expo. I'll be at Terrificon in Connecticut, which is a great event at the Mohegan Sun.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be at Chattanooga Comic-Con.
Nice. Cool. Awesome.
More to
So,
come.
yeah,
More to go.
yeah, more to come. Con season for you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching and thank you for all the questions. These prints will be sent to you guys momentarily. So thank you for all your support. Keone appreciates it and Streamily appreciates it as well. Thanks, everyone. All right. Bye-bye.